up, everybody? Welcome to Rewind Theater for Overkill's The Walking Dead. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the pure one, Tim Geddes.
Let Tim host.
Let Tim host, indeed. Tim, I'm very excited.
Why, Greg?
For another Walking Dead video
Bam,
game.
that's
They've
why.
announced another Walking Dead video game. Here's the trailer. We're going to be talking all over it. And you might say, this is a Rewind Theater, so you should have seen this trailer already, Tim.
Yes.
You've seen
Yes.
it. I've
Yes.
seen it.
Yes.
We know all about it. There's not much to rewind, but there's much to talk about. I'm going to give you
that's
one
what's
video.
important here.
One video, Tim, to condense all the information we know about Overkill's The Walking Dead into one thing. So what do you want to know, Tim?
See, what I want to know is, why is this important, Greg?
There's
been so many Walking Dead games. We got the Telltale games.
Right.
We got the weird shooting one no one
Yeah,
really
the
liked.
survival instincts, right? There was a first-person shooter. Now, what's interesting about this is a fewfold. This is Overkill's The Walking Dead. Overkill, of course, is the development arm of the publisher Starbreeze. These are the guys who made Payday 2. That's their most recent thing. It's a big
People
deal.
like that.
It's a good co-op game everybody loves where you run around, you're robbing banks. They come out today, they're like, we're announcing this one. It's another first-person shooter. It's another co-op game. This time you're running around inside the zombie apocalypse.
See, here's Walking Dead co-op. That sounds good.
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
this.
Well,
the
keep it-
Payday Walking Dead. Okay.
Oh, exactly. They got a good idea here. Now, what at the core of this, you think first-person shooting, Walking Dead, you immediately think back to Survival Instincts, which was not a good game. It was not good, Tim. I don't know if you know this.
I know.
Okay, good. It wasn't good, and what was interesting about that is that Robert Kirkman, the creator of The Walking Dead, he never came out and really talked about AMC's The Walking Dead Survival Instincts. And if you go back and watch the original Telltale Playing Dead series they used to do, they interviewed him once, and he talked about the fact that they stayed away from video games for so long because he wanted to tell a story, and he didn't want it to be another first-person
Yes.
shooter. So the fact that we now have a first-person shooter kind of sounds hypocritical on surface level. But the fact that in this very trailer, I'll skip ahead, Robert Kirkman pops up and is talking to us about the game.
Things changed.
He's on board from the beginning. That's what I want to point out, is that in Walking Dead Survival Instincts, that was very much AMC's The
A
Walking Dead
license
Survival
thing
Instinct.
that had to happen.
Exactly. This is Skybound. This is Kirkman's, independent publishing arm through Image Comics and all these things. You see in the background all the comic clips. This is pulled from the comics, which is exciting for me, being a huge comic book fan. Now, what's exciting about it being a comic book fan in this is that it says in 2016 Washington Falls. First off, that's a ways out. I don't know.
That's
I don't know why
2 years away,
why
Greg.
we had to announce this right now to be like, all right, Walking Dead 2016. But what's exciting is that we're finally getting out of Georgia. That's what gets me excited. You know what I mean? We talk about The Walking Dead. That's what it's always been based around. It's always been based around Rick's story. And even the Telltale series happened in Georgia, right? You're trying to get to Savannah in season 1. Right now, we're still all over the place in the Civil War sites. Going to D.C., and if this trailer is any indication, we're going to D.C. right as it falls, right? This here, right here, we're talking about the bad people. This girl runs up. There's still radio broadcasts. If you listen to the radio broadcast here, Tim, Spanish, you can translate for me.
I think they want to party, Greg.
No, you can't translate Spanish. I went and found somebody in the office who could, though. They're talking about health and safety, everything you'd expect, right? Please remain calm. If you have any problems, contact the military. Avoid panic, basically. So this is very much ground zero. Things are starting to pop
Zombie
off.
stuff.
Exactly.
We're familiar with this.
Well, what I find interesting, if I pause it here, the girl running up, talking through the glass, it to me speaks to not obviously it isn't Clementine, but it's like kind of playing with
Here's
that
your
idea, right? Like
character.
it's kind of setting up the fact that could have been Clementine, right? This girl runs up to the glass, she needs help, she has this. It looks to be the bushy hair out the sides like Clem had when she was wearing the cap when we first meet her in season 1, but she runs in. Gets trapped outside, eaten by the zombies. You hear her die, and then this guy blows his brains out against the wall. So even in this microcosm for a game that's 2 years away, we get how bleak the setting is. We're staying true to that bleakness. Kirkman's on board, making you think it's going to be a story-driven co-op game.
Yep.
And I mean, for me, as much as I like Payday, that's what I think is missing. Is that, all right, you're bank robbers, go rob banks. And it's like, awesome. And then I'm blown away. Like, I have these crazy guns, and all these cops are there. And it's like, well, whatever. Like, if you can.
Why am I doing this?
If you
with
give
the
me
zombies, there's your reason.
Exactly. You give me that co-op, you give me something to shoot and not feel bad about, right? You feel bad shooting the cops in Payday. I don't even think you're supposed to, right? Like, or the hostages you're not supposed to shoot. Here you're going to be able to shoot everything. What I found interesting from their releases today, Kirkman says, I'm happy to say this is the co-op game that all of the Walking Dead fans have been waiting for. That's nice. They go on to explain. I really didn't know I was waiting for a Walking Dead co-op
Robert
game.
Kirkman, thank you.
Exactly. It's going to have elements of, quote, action, role-playing, survival horror, and stealth that invite players to explore the hugely popular Walking Dead universe.
Sounds like a video game.
That's exactly right. That's what Overkill said over there. I'm excited. I feel like we've been burned before with the first-person shooting
But
Walking
we
Dead.
were burned by people that didn't care.
Right, exactly.
That's the difference. These are people that care. I think we can not worry about the burns here, Greg.
I like to imagine that too, because again, like this is the whole thing. Skybound works with Telltale to make that version of the game. Now you have Robert Kirkman and Skybound working with Starbreeze here to make this version of the game, Overkill's version of the game. It still sounds to me, and I'm still stoked to be somewhere else when everything pops off. Of course, we never. So far, spoiler alert for the comic books, everybody, and I guess the AMC Walking Dead TV show, if you're there. We have a character on the show right now and in the comics named Dr. Eugene Porter, who was trying to get to DC. A spoiler alert for the comics in the comics. He doesn't ever make it there. They never make it to DC to find out what's happening. Now we actually get to see a different part of the country and what's happening here. That's pretty cool.
It's a big part of the country, too.
Yeah, a lot of stuff's happening.
Yeah,
we get to
big
pop
deal
off
over
in the
there.
beginning, see what happened to the president. Now, what's interesting is that in their release here, they talk about the fact that this game has no association with Telltale's The Walking Dead episodic series or Activision's The Walking Dead Survival Instinct. Now, that's no association, meaning that they don't play into each other here and there. However, I have to imagine if Robert and Skybound are on board with this is happening in the comic book universe. We already see the comic book stuff here. I imagine it'll be canon. It's going to be in the comic book universe. I don't, don't get me wrong. I don't think we're going to see Clem. We're going to see Lee. We're going to see Glenn. We're going to see anybody from the comics or the things. But
It's
they
still
talk about
canon. It's still in the same universe of.
Yeah, they make a point of
storyline
saying
and all
they're exploring new characters and new storylines. So hopefully, in the comic book world, we're going to see something cool here.
that. Yeah.
And that's still a sick free Negan T-shirt. Another spoiler for the comic books if you're not caught up. Spoiler alert. Maybe I'm not even going to go that far spoiler because that's a big time spoiler. I like that they said if you have any questions, contact Al. Oh, okay, cool.
Hey, Al.
I guess that's all right. Whatever. And then of course the other.
You think any graffiti? There's anything hidden in there?
I don't. No, I looked at it for a while and then I was like, no, that's. I mean, for a 2016 game, you're not making graffiti. You're not doing that yet. If you go to Payday 2, you can get the Lucille baseball bat, another comic book thing.
Knocking
it
out the park.
Yeah, yeah. Now here's the one thing I will throw at you though. You ready? I granted the Payday 2 Lucille baseball bat. Okay, so maybe Lucille belongs to Negan, the shirt Robert Kirkman's wearing right there. Could this be? Stick with me, Tim. Negan's backstory. I don't know. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me if it was. If we had something there. Maybe he came from DC. He had something. Yeah, it's exciting. Who knows? That's what it's like.
I like thinking.
I like
thinking about this stuff's fun.
And I'm really
we see a trailer of a wall. We can get all of this information. That's awesome.
I'm definitely excited to be thinking about it for the next 2 years, learning more about Overkill's The Walking Dead. Ladies and gentlemen, what did you think of Overkill The Walking Dead's debut trailer here? I thought it was creepy, to tell you the truth. I like when people do something different with the zombie thing, right? Like, they set the stage here pretty well without ever actually doing anything. The zombies running by Tim.
Yeah, a lot happens.
Yeah.
In this trailer, even though it doesn't look like it.
All right, well, let us know your opinions below in the comments. Then make sure you keep coming back to IGN for everything about Robert Kirkman's next project and everything about, dang it, I'm too fast at scrolling, Overkill's The Walking Dead and Walkers and comics and Negan. Right now I'm wearing an Adam Eve shirt, so there's a big shout out for Skybound.
I like the name Starbreeze.
Yeah?